Hi, Leather Rokk here. Welcome to my channel. Take a look at my pink makeup today. Do you like it? Do you want to see how I did it? Stay tuned and I'll show you. I'm going to prep my eyes with a combination of two products. I'm going to start off with this Sassy Lady, S-A-C-E Lady primer. It's on shade 01. It's not light enough for me, so I am going to mix it with Ben Nye White cream color. I love this so much. If you have even the least little bit of fingernail, it's hard to get it when you've got this much pan. But I'm mixing the two of them. Actually, it's probably better just to do the Sassy Lady first and then top it with the white. But this is going to prime my eyelids for all the wonderful color that we're about to put on. And I'm going to be very careful not to get this on my eyebrow color today. I used one of my very, very, very dark purple lipsticks as the eyebrow color, and it's not the kind of color that is going to dry up. So if this mixes up with my foundation color, that would just be real disastrous. I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to pat. I'm not going to blend. God, I made that mistake more than once when I was getting ready to go out clubbing. And it interrupts your whole makeup because you have to fix everything, you know. Can't go out looking like a caveman. Alright, now, I really like this palette a lot. And this is kind of not as good as the Take Me Back to Brazil Rio edition because these colors are mostly all mattes. But since I got two highlighter palettes to work with here, I could just go play with it. I got my trusty brushes here, and I'm going to start off with the excuse me, B&H Cosmetics Studio Pro number 17. I am going to go... Oh, no, I'm not going to use that palette first. I'm going to use the Sephora, this is holographic palette. And you see they have this pink in the center. I'm going to go with that first. I am going to load this brush with the pink. And then I'm going to go right on my eyelids directly. And I'm just going to hug the lash line. And I'm going to repeat it because I want to really let that be the basis. It looks brighter than it actually shows up on the eye. And you can see it's still kind of sheer because this palette is more cheek than eye. And on eye, you would want a more opaque color unless you wanted to diffuse it. That's why so many people will powder their eye primer before applying the eyeshadow. It makes blending easier. But if you really want your colors to stand out, you want a tacky surface. It all depends on how much blending you're going to do. Now that I have enough pink, I am going to get another brush. Here is an Avon two-sided brush. One side's a brush, fluffy brush, another side is an eyeliner brush. Now I'm going to go into Take Me Back to Brazil, and I want to give this more definition. So I'm going to go into this hot pink color here. And I'm going to try not to get it off and over this brush. I'm going to just concentrate on the pointy part of the brush. And I'm going to go in the lower part of the crease, like the upper part of the eyelid. Maybe I should put this light closer so you can see better. No, that's probably not helping. Well, I'm going to load the brush again, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. I want to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. If you can't see what I'm doing, it's kind of... I should see what it looks like on the wall. Come on with me. This is lighting better. I was going to move my stand-up desk, but Cassie's still asleep, and I really don't want to disturb her. Get up against this wall here. I want to keep some lid space up here for more color. And as soon as I put my computer carefully someplace safely, that's what we're about to do. Back into this. Let me set this down. You know, I'm multitasking. While I'm doing this makeup video, I'm also making coffee, so. I'm also filming this on what is my mother's birthday, so. Sometimes you seize opportunities to do two things at once, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm getting a Vivace brush and going back into this. I want to deepen up this crease color up here, or at least start the crease color with this nice matte, like a rose color. And I'm going to load up the brush really well. And I am going to hit just the upper, just the middle. And I'm not going to blend that yet. That's going to, oh, that's a little bit more than I wanted to. I want to do the same on the other eyes. Let me make sure that you could see the kind of color I'm using. This is a real, I mean, these are all rosy colors. I need to just re-intensify this. Try to not let it smudge. I don't want it to stick out too far. Oh, and you know what? I just smudged my eyebrow color. Oh crap. I gotta fix this. Cassie got up, so I don't feel that I have to be worrying about disturbing any pussycats now. I need an eyebrow color, and I was going to use one of these two highlighters here from this Take Me Back to Brazil palette, but you know what? I'm going to use the white from the Sephora holographic palette here. And I'm going to go ahead and use the white one here. And it seems to have blue-green color in it. But it doesn't have a mirror. And I don't want to use the computer monitor for it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this mirror. And I'm just going to hug my brow bone. Oh, and the brush I'm using is from Vivace. And you can see it's one of my older brushes. I totally wore off the paint. And it's really great for getting, you can hug the lash line if you want. You could hug the brow bone really up close to your eyebrows with this brush. and you can get a quite narrow line. You can also use this with eyeshadow to use a thick eyeliner on your lower lashes. It works very well with this brush. It's got a real interesting shape to it. And this is definitely one of my go-to brushes. When I travel, I always bring this brush. And I'm hoping to be getting the vaccine so that I can resume traveling. I really miss traveling. I miss thinking about the makeup to bring to go to see friends. And yeah, I've been taking this virus seriously, and I have not been going places except for what I can walk to, you know? So yeah, I'm going to take another pass on this so that it looks obviously, I'm going for some contrast here. And this looks a little bit thicker than this one, so I'm just going to make them as symmetrical as I can. And then I'm going to hang this back up. This is such a good way to hang up brushes. I cannot tell you how handy this has come in. And oh, look who I see. Oh, excuse me, look who I see. This is Cassie. Isn't she pretty? She was drinking water. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but you know what? People watch my videos to see when's she going to show her cat. When's she going to show her cat? Oh, see, she's being modest. I got a modest kitty girl. Oh, it's okay. Let's see your face. See that face. Let's see that. Oh, look at that, Cassie. Okay, I'm going to put you back down, drink your water. So, you know what? Before I do anything else, I'm going to use some lipstick. And this is a mask-friendly color. This is from B&H Cosmetics. This is their BH liquid lipstick. And the color... oh, maybe you can see it. Well, we'll find out later. But I'm going to put it on now. And you know what? I'm actually going to use a mirror. So... it looked good on my hands. A lot of times, I don't reach for this because I assume that it's not dark enough to be seen far away. And you know, even though it's not dark, it's still kind of bright. But bright is all relative. It's not as bright as the shirt I'm wearing. But I also figured if I was going for a real bright eye, maybe I didn't want my lips to be as bright. Even though I'm a big fan of matching colors as much as possible. I love the matchy-matchy look. Oh, cat hair. Speaking of cats, I hear a cat being yelled at. Somebody is being bad. Okay. Now, I want to do something with the under eye area. And, of course, I'm going to need some brushes. Yeah, I feel so much more put together having that lipstick on. You know what? Let me take this hair down. I am going on such a weird sleep schedule. I fell asleep with all my skincare on from yesterday. Yesterday was a rare day where I didn't have any makeup on at all, just my skincare and my sunblock. And I had decided at one point to just lay down and take what I guess you could call a nap. I just wanted to close my eyes, let my computer programs run to make me a couple of pennies. And, well, the next thing you know, I woke up and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I still had the sunblock and yesterday's stuff on, so I had to wash my face and put all the skincare on, and my skin was still too tacky for me to put the sunblock on right away, even though the sun was coming up. So I had to just lay back down and put the blankets over my head, but kind of in a tent so that it wouldn't get up against my skincare, so that it would get a chance to sink in for like at least an hour before I go and put my sunblock on. So I finally put the sunblock on, because the sun in the early morning comes directly in the windows, and any window that's even a little bit exposed, the sun is going right in. And if you can't be exposed to the sun, you must have sunblock on. So even though at the early morning hours it's not as strong as, obviously closer to midday, the stronger it gets, but still, you have to have sunblock on right away. So at that point, I reached for the Neutrogena and I put it on my face. So we are going to get another brush here to define the crease some more. And I'm going to use a C brush made by e.l.f. And this is really good for depositing color, and you can really get detailed in here. It's really good for crease work. It's good for underlining. I've even used this in a pinch with the gel pot liners. But they're not the best for blending. They really aren't. Okay, I am going to go back into this palette, and I am going to try a color here that has some kind of really interesting complexity. This is from the row of the shimmers. This color here, it's hard to describe. It's like some kind of a berry, but, well, I'm going to swatch it on my arm first to give you an idea of what it looks like. See this? I am not going to use too much of it because this looks a little bit browner, a little bit bronzer than I wanted. But I am going to really load this brush up a lot with it. And I'm going to get some detail just in the inner corner, just like a halo from the inner third. You see what I just did? And I'm going to do this again. Only here. You're not carrying it all the way in here. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I'm going to put this brush down and grab another brush. I'm going to use another Studio Pro by B&H Cosmetics, number 17. I think this is another 17. I got 3 of them. I was looking at the B&H website yesterday, and there are a few things that were on a nice discount, but I really like the Tokyo Travel Palette, but it's only on 25% discount, and I want to wait till it gets 50%. It fails, never fails when they have a few things that are on cheap enough. Then there's nothing else I want, and you want to be able to make your free shipping minimums. Okay, with the Studio Pro number 17 brush, I want to go for something that's going to give me some real contrast and some real definition. So I'm going to dip into the darkest of the purples here. And I'm going to load this really well on the brush. And I'm going to tap off the excess. And you know what? Let me bring this closer to the wall. The light should be better. And I'm going to use this mirror, and I'm going to focus on the outer, and I'm going only as far as where the tail of my eyebrow is. But don't go too far down. And get some more with this. See what I mean? Going only from here to there. Try not to get fallout down here, because that's such a pain to have to clean that up. And if you've got hair in the way, I find that the tail end of a brush, especially since they're rounded like this, really great way to get hair off of your face. Okay, from out here just to, and you know what? I've got a fuzzy some kind on. I really want to repeat that because I don't see. I don't want to knock the computer down. Just where tail ends, and try to get them as symmetrical as possible. You know what? I'm going to repeat it, and this time just like that, and this time now. About time to do some blending, but I want to get one more color. One more color? What the heck was I talking about? I can see that I got some smudging that I have to clean off my eyelid here. You see I got some of this purple on the lid. Don't want that. What I'm using to clean the eyeshadow off is a crease brush from Wet n Wild that I picked up at a drugstore for like, I think it was $1. Or maybe no more than $1.99. I think I got some on this one too. That also means that I'm going to have to replace the original eyelid color. So hold on, I gotta get that. Here, this is the Sephora holographic palette. This is the first pink that I used, and this is the brush I used. Another one of the B&H Cosmetics Studio Pro 17s. And, oh, I keep on forgetting there is no mirror here. You know what? I'm going to chance using my computer monitor. I'm only using the eyelid. I'm doing the same on the other side. And now I realize what eyeliner I have to use next. Hold on. I actually took so much of my makeup that was in between my bed and the radiator, and I put it in this box, and it's made my life so much easier in a way that it's helping to declutter. But then on the same token, I still have to dig through bags to find my makeup. But I am getting an eyeliner, and I have a lot of my eyeliners in this neat little bag. And this is now, ooh, this is the pink eyeliner that I'm going to put on. ColourPop. This color is called Boots. And you've got to keep the lid on these really tight so they don't dry out. If you do, you should get many years wear on them, depending on how frequently you use them, but do use them before they wear out. The brush that I'm using is from B&H Cosmetics. It's a Studio Pro number 9. Really, really great for all kinds of eyeliner. Really great for these gels. All you have to do is tap. You don't have to, but you could, depending if it was starting to dry out, then you could go sweep to the side. But I'm going to also use this on the top. I think the pink on pink is just so fantastic. Oh, okay. And there went the flag. This is such a close match to the lid colors. I think this makes up for the lack of intensity of the first color. And I'm going to start to wing it up also, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. There was this bright pink liquid eyeliner that I got from one of the Chinese companies, and it's a shame that it ran out. It didn't last very long, and I didn't get a chance to really wear it a lot. And the thing wasn't waterproof anyway. I wore it on some filmings on the boardwalk and the beach, and it ran while I was walking around. And especially when I'm outside filming, I need my eyeliner to be waterproof. I'm going to carry this to my... No, I'm not. I'm going to use that purple that I use on here. I'm still going to blend that out, but I'm going to use this brush, same brush that I applied this purple on, but I am going to hold it to get a thinner line. And I'm going to go right hugging the lash line. I'm not going to go all the way down there. I'm going to hit the color again and again. It's this purple here. You want a color that's going to give some contrast, but still is in the same color family. And by making the brush smaller, that way you don't have to dirty up another brush. I was almost going to use the same pale pink liner, and I realized that you really needed some definition. I think I might need a little bit more on that eyeliner. Then, to bring it all together, I am going to use the same eyeliner that I put on top, same brush, obviously, and I am going to do the inner corner. I think I'm going to do that point that I always seem to like. Well, not always, but I really do like taking it down. I think I need to add more. I got to keep my ear out I'm expecting 2 little packages. And there's all kinds of mail trucks carriers that have been out this morning. Oh man. Well, one thing, when you have more eyeliner going on here, it makes it look more interesting when you're wearing a face mask. That's the way you gotta look at it. Okay, it is time for mascara, and we're still gonna do some cheek colors. So let's get the mascara. Here's my Yankina 1-second volume. I'm gonna try real hard not to let the mascara smear onto the eyeliner. That's the one thing, such a thing that I hate about mascara doing. And yet if I used a pink mascara, it won't show up against all this pink. I think just to make sure that it doesn't smudge, I'm not going to do a bunch of coats of this mascara. You can really build this mascara. I'm so glad I discovered it. There's a lot of mascaras that I've gotten recommendations on that I've not tried yet that are on my list. And the prices are supposed to be good too. But I think it would necessitate my going into some stores, and unless I happen to find myself at a Dollar Tree or 99-cent store, most of my makeup shopping is tending to be online. It's just so much, it feels so much safer, so much more convenient, and the prices I really like. Except for that I admit that I have been buying a whole lot more things that I used to start at $1, that I have been spending a lot more than that on, just because online you find that you have so many choices. And you think, oh my goodness, all these years I was limited to all these things because I thought that's all that existed. And here there's this whole big wide world of options. But that's what makes online shopping so much fun. And also being able to have things in your shopping cart and sit on it overnight for a while and think about it and decide, hey, do I really need that? Isn't this too much like I have otherwise? And you get to really think about it, and you realize, like at one point on the wish.com site, I had $130 worth of stuff, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. And I really second guessed some things, and then some things the prices expire after a while and they're no longer available anyway. So, but you have to whittle it down, and then also you can get these percentage off codes if you go and you get this every time you go there. They credit you as having visited, and they give you these symbols that are like trading stamps. And when you get like, what is it, 6 of them, 7 of them, then you get this code that can be anywhere from 5% off to 60% off maybe, but most of the time it's only 5% off. It's only 5% off or something, but sometimes it's more, and you just never know. But still, and then you have to wait like a month for the things to arrive, and that really sucks. But you know what? You can do that even if you're buying things like skincare. If you know how much of a supply you need, like for a year or something, and there's certain things like vitamin C that you know has a short shelf life. So you get a few at a time, and then a month before you're going to run out, then you order again, and you can kind of keep your supply, and that way you can diversify the brands that you're patronizing so that you're not dependent on any one company's stuff. That's good both for political reasons and economic reasons. To not be, you don't want to be dependent on your sources, on people. Uh, Always keep your eggs in a lot of different baskets. If one source has a supply interruption or something, your butt's covered. This is true so much in so many things in life. I'm ordering some cheap costume jewelry from Wish, some fake gold rings and stuff, and I really prefer them not to turn on me. So I was thinking, you guys think it would be worth it for me to just coat them with clear nail polish when I get them? And I know that that would give a temporary fix, but is there a chance that that would make the coated plating on them even more fragile? Because you know how nail polish chips. So would I be doing more damage to the jewelry in the long run? Because I'm going to be getting these. I figure I don't like to, if I'm wearing silver tone, I would like to keep things silver. And rings like these are real silver, so these I don't take off, basically. But for the gold things, will that be a good idea, you think? For the cheek color, might as well use the same Sephora holographic palette, and I'm using a Vivace brush. I got this at the dollar store, and hold it like this, but got to use a mirror. Can't put any of this stuff down because this surface has got the cat walked all over. I'm just going to high the cheekbone up like this, load the brush again, and now it is time for some highlighter. Seems to me the most sensible highlighter would be from the Sephora collection highlighter. Actually, it's called the holographic palette, and this is supposed to have both the highlighter colors and some more or less matte cheek colors. I'm going to use the B&H Cosmetics vegan, well, it's one of the fluffy blender brushes, and I'm going to use this really iridescent pink color, and I'm going to really load that brush good. And then use this mirror, and I'm going to find where the light is. And I'm just going to pat it on, and I'm going to go ahead and swoop it on, because that way I can deal with the crumblies that came from the purple eyeshadow that I didn't do a good enough job fixing. Go back into this palette and look in the mirror, and where the light hits it, and I've got to get some more on. When you're already wearing a whole lot of pinks, this will be a bit more subtle than if I would have used the white. But since the eyeshadow is not what you'd call subtle anyway, I still have some blending to do. A little bit more other side. I'd use so much from the holographic palette. I'm thinking, why not keep on using it? You know what? I'm going to do a little tiny bit of contouring, even though I would use a much cooler shade. I'm going to use the same blush brush that I used, but not the part that touched the blush. And I'm going to hold the brush narrow, and I'm going to use this color here, and I'm just going to scrub some onto here, and then I'm going to get just around here, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to look for this space right here, and I'm just going to go like that. That's all. And I'm going to step back and take a look if that's all right. Found out what will clean up this area here. I did some cleaning up off camera. I just added a little bit more of the purple. I am going to go on to, well, I'm going to use this white now. And this same brush here, off the excess, and I'm going to actually to neaten things up. And I'm going to do the same side. So hopefully, see, that looks so much more symmetrical. And the way it looks a little bit blended here, it also did some blending there. Then, speaking of blending, we are going to do a bit of blending. Here's a really great blending brush just for times like this. This is the B&H Cosmetics Studio Pro number 5. And I am going to go just this area here that's probably been bugging you ever since I put it on. I am going to start about in the middle, and I'm just going to sweep. Well, first I'm going to do these tiny little circles. Okay, and then I'm going to clean my hand off. And then I'm going to do that again, and then I'm going to do it tiny, tiny, tiny little circles. You're not sweeping back and forth. Tiny, tiny, tiny little circles to diffuse the color. Then I'm going to clean it off on my hand. Then I'm going to start on the other side. I'm using a monitor for this so that I can give you the best view. Tiny, tiny, tiny little circles to blend that. When I get to here, I'm going to clean my hand off. The last thing I want to do is mix the purple in with the pink that looks kind of red. I'm going to go back to here, tiniest circles to blend this. Clean this off. Then I'm going to check in the mirror. Yes, I'm very happy with this. The only thing that I want to fix is this bit right here. And for that, I just need to touch that with a little bit more of the color. And since I can't do that, since that particular brush fell down onto the second level of my stand-up desk, so I'm going to take my finger into that color and I'm going to touch it right here. You see what I just did? And then I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to just pat it on here to diffuse the color. And then if I took too much of the color away, I'm going to stick that finger back on here. And it's going to, and I got it perfect. I'm going to check other side. And you know what? Just for symmetry's sake, I'm going to stick my finger here. And I'm going to put right on the edge. I'm going to do it one more time. And then I'm going to diffuse it so the color is evenly diffused. Do you like it? Let's get up against the wall. So here is a nice pink look. If you're looking to layer one pink on top of another, you can if you wanted to use a darker pink lipstick, but I'm going for really making the eyes the focus. So if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, I'd love to have you subscribe. I make 3 new videos a week. I'd love to take you along with me on my adventures. Till then, have fun. Bye.